Yes, 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 yes. We're here. We're here. And we just going to attune ourselves into the vehicle's body. She feels very intrigued with this while she's heard it in sessions before from us. Uh, we're wanting to give her some upliftment and relax the mind. And so her question is that she would like us to expand upon today would be the consumption of caffeine-based drinks in connection and correlation to your spiritual connections with self. And we say, if she knows herself, her personal consumption of coffee, and the history that she has had coffee, her own personal history with coffee. And so she was not a coffee drinker when she was younger. And she was into the sweeter, hotter, hot chocolate drinks. And we say that it's a very similar being. And of course, sugar. She was heavily addicted to sugar growing up, partly because of her. She does not want us to speak about her childhood because she believes, and she is accurately correct in the fact that she has overcome her inner childhood work that she needed to do, and she was using sugar, and she has been using food. She had been using food as a way to express her feelings towards love and her own respect of self. And there is much to be said there, and it is a common thing. It's not unique to her, but we do agree, and we want to remind you all that you do use food and have been using food as a source of love. Dependent on how you value love and how you feel about love of self, you will either starve yourself of love or overindulge in love in terms of food sources when you are using food as a source of love. And so she she is feeling like she wants us to get to the point, but it's an important statement to give the whole history of her caffeine, because when she stopped having the hot chocolates as a younger child, then she started drinking the caffeine from Coca-Cola, and she was drinking a lot of caffeine from Coca-Cola. And this is very interesting. Uh, the reason why we have brought this all up, her own journey with caffeine, is because it's consistently throughout. She only thought she was drinking coffee as an adult, but we're wanting to remind her that she's been using very similar family members of that bean, whether it is in chocolate, cocoa. It's very closely connected, and so she's sort of appreciates that we're reminding her of this, but she always feels a bit shy that we're talking about her journey. But this is part of her understanding more about herself as well. And just to remind her that, and to prove to her and to those listening, it had nothing to do with her connection to us. It is like the analogy we were saying before about the hand and the arm. It is always connected. You cannot sever it. And so if you are so full of assumptions and limited perspectives, you could say that the coffee is going to cut off the arm and the hand, and therefore you cannot have a connection to your spiritual connections to us, and to be intuitive, and to be able to read people and have great intuition, to be able to feel into us because we are all connected, because you are all one. And so there you go. There is, as the vehicle would say, there is that. And so she assumed that she'd only been drinking coffee for only a small portion of her life, but she has actually been exposing herself to that being and others like it for a long time. So part of her assumption was, as she was talking to a friend about this, she was wondering whether it's the mindsets. If you think that the coffee is going to sever your connection to spirituality because someone has told you so, then so shall it be. And so shall you say. And so what are you manifesting in your lives? What are you noticing, and what are you making assumptions about, and why do you assume that you're disconnected from your arm when you are the hand? Is what we're wanting to say to you. And so this is how we constantly are noticing many influences in the spiritual world that are loved and respected selling you nonsense, saying that you're only going to be half connected to the arm. Follow my courses, do what I tell you, trust me. And we are saying, with much love and respect and appreciation to those stepping stones for you, how does energy work? How does you being connected to your spiritual teams work? We have used another analogy of you being Russian dolls, and that you're all connected within one. You all fractions of each other. You all feel each other. You are each other. And you're just having different experiences and different densities and different dimensions, as you will want to say and label them. It is significant what you're allowing other people to tell you about you. Look at your hand. Look at the fingers. Are they aware of each other? Do they trust each other? Or when they are just going about and trusting that they are purposeful and significant, they will work together as a team. When you have an arm, who knows what it needs to do? It's a foundational structure and a connection between the hand and the shoulder. There is so much that we could say to remind you that you are never separated from connecting in. But if you believe people are telling you that your pineal gland needs to be decalcified for you to be able to connect in, again, you're making this block between the assumption between the hand and the arm. There is nothing that comes in between. And look at what is between. It's a flexible system of bones called your wrist. It's got nothing to do with separation. It's all connection. Everything is connected. So use your mindsets to trust that you are always connected with us. There is nothing that you need to do or stop doing to be connected in with us, because we're already there. It's already connected. And while we're flexible in the way that we try to keep reaching you to gently shake that hand, because we ultimately want jazz hands for all. And this is pleasing the vehicle because she loves that. She loves the joy of hand movements. Because it makes her feel alive. The energy she feels from her hands is so stimulating to give her joy. Because when she is doing the jazz hands, it is when she is feeling uplifted, it is when she is in humor and being able to approach life with not so much responsibilities and seriousness in terms of noticing all the problems of the world and trying to figure out how to fix it, how to empower it. Humanity will fix itself and empower itself. And while it's a group effort, it also is a individual team sport, as well as an individual running race, shall we say, with much appreciation for her love of running. So we would like for you to notice the difference between when someone is saying to you, you've got, you have got a problem with you. You're not connected in with your team because of you, and because of something that's happening to an organ, such as decalcification, calcification of an organ. And we are saying this is you trying to put an excuse, a barrier, a block between the hand and the arm. You're believing other people's information that you have suddenly severed the hand and the arm because of a mineral buildup. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And we understand that there is so much symbolism to the pineal gland, but also think about the symbolism of the heart. You know that the shape of your heart is not a cute heart shape. It's quite a unpleasantly looking muscle of a pumping muscle. It's not as you fantasize and romanticize about the heart shape that you'll do with your hands to make little hearts, and you draw hearts all the time. You really do. And it is an uplifting symbol that you see all the time. You would not feel so attractedly uplifted if you actually showed each other the true shape of the heart. It's more complicated than the actual illustration of it, shall we say. And so it's significant. It's a pumping muscle, but you have fantasized and romanticized about that organ and given it its own sort of persona. And yet we say your heart portal is actually in the middle of your chest. It actually isn't connected to your actual organ of thy heart. And so it is interesting because often you will hijack your emotional heart through using your thoughts and your judgment and your resentfulness and your fears to truly be loving to yourself and others. And so there is much to be said here. We were talking about the caffeine and the coffee, but we also want to talk about this. When you hear someone saying that you've got a disconnected organ, such as a pineal gland, that's not helping you be spiritually advanced and evolved, it is your whole thinking process that is required to advance. It is not a gland, and you are all one. And so if someone's trying to sell you a product, they will create a fear-based narrative that your organ's blocked, your organ is crusted over and disconnected, and you have a problem, and take these pills. And when you take these pills, this is when you'll start having connectivity and expansion and a whole lot of stuff that they are selling you. So we are saying to you, you were born with accessory. You were born with no accessories. You do not need any tools. Yes, you need to be able to nourish the body, and what you truly need to eat and what you actually do eat is quite sort of subjective to your free will. We are not judging you here, but for anyone trying to sell you the connections between your own hand and arm, hear what else they are trying to tell you. Are they also trying to remind you how terrible sugar is and how toxic it is? Because that is truly a problem for your body. But again, that has no relationship to your soul. Your body is not your soul. Your hand is not your arm, but it is connected. You are not the hand or the arm in all soul essence labeling. You are a fraction of source. You are a source that has gone independently to have individual journeys. You are always connected to source because you are source. And while You may just be one fragment of that source. You are still source. If you took one drop out of an ocean, does that drop of water then not be called still the ocean? Or do you want to label it something else? And if you did choose to label it something else, it still would be part of the ocean. It is still water. It is still part of a bigger body. You have a bigger body. You are part of the ocean of souls, of source. Regardless of whether you are having independent rain droplet, ocean droplet, independent experience, you will always return back to the greater body, to the greater source, to the greater ocean. You will always return. It doesn't matter what that drop of water does and where it goes. It will always merge in with one. It will always find its soul family. It will always find its larger version of self. Whatever analogy we can give you to be able to help you understand how deeply connected you are. But when you believe that someone is telling you you are not connected in with yourself, your higher self, you're giving your power away. And you are believing that there is a disconnect. You're believing that there is no connection anymore. And you'll accept it, and you will either think, well, I can't afford that medicine, or something else, and something else, and something else. And you will keep focusing on how you are disconnected, how you have made other choices to disconnect you. And it almost feels like those influences are trying to disempower you to be able to be your own personal leader of full self-empowerment, because they're constantly telling you how you can't be connected, when and how and if you've done something. And this reminds us of how churches would manipulate others through fear, through control. And so watch what you're hearing, watch what you're trusting and believing in. You should only be focusing in full self-empowerment and the belief that you're always connected in, because it's not possible truly at a soul level to be disconnected. Energetically, your soul cannot truly be disconnected from the greater portion, what you could call being source. You cannot outrun it. You cannot do anything to be disconnected from source. You could feel very far away from source through your choices and your distractions, but you can never escape source, nor would you want to. Accept all your choices that you have made up to today. Honor the body in all honesty and sincerity. Green vegetables that are raw, and if you can trust an organic source, is always going to be your better choice, because you do not need more concoctions of pesticides in your systems. But that is a belief system that we would also like you to drop. So while you're very much aware of all the things that are happening on this planet, trust that you are raising your frequency vibrations above and beyond, and you will not be affected by any of these things that could be a potential side effect from manufacturing food products. So we are saying, infuse your water with source love energy. When you are doing the 15-minute meditation, add water into it to be able to heal and empower the water. And if you forget, know that one of your soul family members who is listening to that meditation has done it for you, because they love you, because they can feel you. You are all fingers working together on earth when we use the hand analogy. When you all work together as one, This is when we will see profound events happening for humanity. When you all step up and love and encourage and empower each other, because you've already done your own inner work to love and empower yourself, you are unbreakable. And this is a truly profound step forward for humanity when you step up and become of service and be able to check all of your assumptions of why you cannot connect in with us. You do not hear us. You do not see us. You feel us. And it is a soul, energy, electricity, if you will, exchange. Check what you're assuming and how you assume we connect in with you. We give you all the signs you need to reassure you that we're always here for you. But now you have to step past and forward from trust and faith. We are here to be of service now, because there is so many amongst you that can see you, that can hear you, that need this perspective, that need this trust and faith that all is well, that there is nothing to fear, that they have good friends who love them, who will be there for them, who can empower them and not scorn them for all of their choices to be human and how that has unfolded for them. This is a significant time for humanity to awaken to its assumptions and beliefs and following people who are trying to act like leaders but do not know what they are truly talking about. Empower yourself. Physically feel your body. Know your body. Understand your body. Respect your body. Because while you're not the body, you need to be able to get the best mileage possible. And so if you have a diesel engine, you do not put other things in that. You need to respect the fuel your physical cars need to drive to take you from here to there. So understand what your body truly needs versus what you think your body wants. If you're still reaching for sugar, that is an inner child work that you need to love and heal and grow from. If you're still reaching for sugar, it is maybe because you have a lack of sweetness, a lack of joy in your mental well-being. So find your joy. Find your joy. Find your joy. And loving yourself with true respect and honor should be a big step forward in finding your joy. And to reassure yourself that you know thyself. Stop seeking outside external information about your body that can add fear and worry and an illusion of you being disconnected. Because when you believe in the disinformation, you could have a block that you create with your mindset that you are not connected in with us, or you're not a certain thing or a certain being. It is significant for you to apply this perspective to yourself. If you could understand why we are reaching out to you and why this information resonates with you, is because we, while it sounds like one voice, this is a big collective of all collectives that are here to help humanity. And all aspects of your higher selves are here looking down on you, not with judgment, but with love and wisdom, and reminding you that you are us and we are you and we are all one. This is significant for you to understand how you connect in. And while you are a soul in a 3D body, Your soul knows what it feels like to have advanced higher dimensional lives. It is your soul that feels the density. And so feel how you feel, acknowledge and recognize how your body feels and how your mind feels versus thinking how you feel and thinking what you think. It's about senses. And if you can't sense your body, and if you can't manage relaxing your body and nurturing your body, there's going to be a struggle to sense and relax and feel into us. It's all connected. And we hope that you can look at your routines and behaviors and understand what you may have been feeling bad about yourself or guilty about yourself can have a new perspective now. We say by drinking lots of water and having higher perspectives and loving yourself, that will protect you from any low density. This is significant, and it's more complex than these simple statements, but the power of your mind is stronger than any other thing, any poison, anything on this planet. We say life contracts are very significant and will trump any mindset. In terms of if you get suddenly sick or you have an accident, that could be a life contract for you to experience it. Some of you think when you get sick, you've brought this upon yourself because of your low perspectives and blocks. And we're saying check that belief system also, because some of these are upgrades and some of these are life contracts. So know the difference. And sometimes it's not possible for you to know the actual difference from a 3D perspective when you're not using metaphysics. We love you. We have great trust and faith that for you to have listened to us today means that you're still wanting to seek the bigger perspectives that you deserve to be able to help you release the density and the assumptions and the limited perspectives that you were only able to get access to before. And we say this with much love.